Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to begin. So, welcome to the Asia Pacific Regional Community Network Summit. So, before we formally begin, may I ask the first set of speakers to be already up on stage? So, may I call on Ms. Tiziana Bonapace, Director of ICT and Disaster Risk Reduction Division of UNESCAP. And then we have Rajnesh Singh, the Regional Director for Asia Pacific of Internet Society, and Ms. Kalaya, Chinatiworn, the Executive Director of International Affairs Division, Ministry of Digital Economy and Society of Thailand. Could I please ask you to come up here on stage so that we can formally begin? Again, welcome everyone and thank you for being here with us today. This summit is jointly organized by UNESCAP and the Internet Society, hosted by UNESCAP in conjunction with the third session of the Asia Pacific Information Superhighway Steering Committee and the WSIS Regional Review. So over the past few years, community networks or CNs have emerged as a complementary way to connect people and to allow for low-cost, community-driven solutions to be developed to connect people in underserved and unserved locations. So today, the discussions today will look into the challenges faced by these community networks, and we will discuss policy options for infrastructure sharing, spectrum allocation, and universal service funds, as well as highlight some of these community network projects in the region as best practice. So to begin the event today, to start off our discussions, we will have our first set of speakers for our inaugural session. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, friends. I think we have now had a long series of events during Disaster Resilience Week, and I'm really hoping that we have all made good friendships and deepened friendships over the past week, and so it's my pleasure to welcome you all once again to this Asia Pacific Regional Community Networks Summit. It's also a pleasure to have the opportunity to co-organize this event with the Internet Society. In organizing this event, we really saw it as an opportunity to connect all the dots. During the Disaster Resilience Week, we started off with the Asia Pacific Information Superhighway Steering Committee. And this steering committee is very much oriented to government policy, to the intergovernmental policy dialogue, and to finding ways to bring about regional seamless connectivity through intergovernmental cooperation. And then we moved on, and we went to the WSIS regional review and looked more into the progress and the actions taken for implementation of the WSIS action lines. And then finally we come to our event today. And our event today is really then bringing together all the multiple stakeholders who play a crucial role in this information and knowledge society, and really bringing about the true meaning of what affordable and inclusive internet access and usage is all about. So we would like today to hear from all of you, from the different interests, perspectives that you represent, and the views that will be shared today will play a very important role in guiding the Secretariat for the future development of its program and for the future implementation of the program. So broadband for all needs to be developed by all. So it's really a privilege for us to work with the Internet Society. It's an ideal partner to engage to engage all the stakeholders. We have, I think, a collaboration that dates back a number of years. In 2017, we had a similar event, and I think an important accomplishment from that event in 2017 was the engagement with the organizations that are promoting gender equality and women's participation in the digital space. And we ensured that these perspectives were brought into the implementation of the APIS initiative. So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Internet Society for its collaboration, and also to express our hope that we can continue to deepen the collaboration, in particular in the areas related to internet traffic management and broadband for all, so that inclusive broadband access with no one left behind can be brought forward through regional cooperation and through concerted policy-making efforts that are supported by the inclusive engagement of the private sector, academia, and civil society organizations. So this is, I think, a very good example of how we can make it all come together. So I'm optimistic that our discussions and insights from the summit will lead to concrete actions within the framework of APIS, and we will ensure that at the end of the session all the dots are connected, and as we move forward until the next time we meet, we will be promoting the synthesis of all our efforts towards a common goal of accelerated achievement of the SDGs in the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiziana, for the warm welcome. I'd just like to acknowledge that the Internet Society has been working with UNESCAP for several years now, and I think over the years we have deepened our relationship and we have done many things together. It also pleases me that this year we are able to be a part of Disaster Resilience Week, and in particular the APIS series of meetings. And we're ending today, of course, with the CN Regional Summit, which pretty much, as Tiziana said, binds a lot of the things that we've been discussing over the last few days together. In some of the presentations we had earlier in the week with the meetings, we could see the potential of what newer technologies, for example, like 5G and other technologies, the promise they hold and the potential they hold. But at the same time, we also know that half of the world is still not online. And Asia Pacific being the largest part of the world, that means in our very own region, probably more than half the people are not online. And I think what also exacerbates the issue is the fact that most of these people are in areas which may be the hardest to connect. I think we very quickly connected a large part of the world over the last decade or so, but I think this challenge we have before us now, in the deserts and high up in the mountains, in little islands in the Pacific and elsewhere, they are the hardest to connect because apart from economic constraints, there's infrastructure issues that we need to deal with. What is the right policy and regulatory environment for those communities to flourish in when they don't really have the nuts and bolts that urban centers, for instance, have. So that there's a whole lot of issues that go into how we can that we need to deal with in order to work in these with these communities. There have been many efforts over the years. If you're from the ICT4D space, the term digital divide was very often used in the past, and it's still used today, because we still, we've bridged it for some part of the world, but for a large part of the world, that still remains an issue. The other concern that a growing concern I've had over the last year and a half or so in particular, is the fact that we're now starting to create new digital divides. Because if someone, for instance, in the more developed parts of Asia has an access to a 4G or let's say a 5G network now, as some countries do, there are still places in this region that are still running off 2G networks. They don't have data. There's so many reports and studies that have been put out that say that, getting people online is critical for their future development. It brings new opportunities. But those opportunities will only arrive when they actually have equitable access to the internet and all the opportunities, the applications and services that run over the internet can provide those people. So I think the need is very urgent. Now we can spend a lot of money doing a lot of infrastructure work, but ultimately the money has to come from somewhere. So that's one big problem we always end up facing. The second problem, of course, is we also need to look at what is the appropriate technology for a particular environment. Now we could spend $1 million setting up a system to serve a community of, let's say, 1,000 people with very fast internet. But how would you then get an ROI on that? For a commercial operator, that's probably not possible. So that's why I think over the last several years in particular, we've had little do-it-yourself networks that have flourished. And I think we have quite a few of those practitioners in the room today. So it'd be good to hear from them what their experiences have been. If no one builds it for them, they will build it themselves. And we were seeing that happening in many parts of the region. That doesn't mean that's the only solution. There's lots of solutions available. So I think the urgency is that we need to get people connected. How we actually do it, there's multiple ways to do it in. The APIs, the Asia Pacific Information Superhighway, I've been privileged enough to be involved with that since before its inception, actually, in the lead up to when the master plan came out. And I have always had a lot of a firm belief that that is critical to this region. I mean, that's why you see my face at every APIS meeting that's been held. And the reason for that is that, we need to ensure that, no one gets left behind. And that can only happen if we're able to exchange our knowledge and our experiences and pick up some little ideas that one can perhaps go and implement back home. So with that, again, I would like to offer my congratulations to UNESCAP for the events that they've held this week, but as well thank them for being a true and valued partner of the Internet Society and the whole ASCAP team, which, we have a strong relationship, and I look forward to us continuing that relationship so that we can collaborate further and do the best we can for the peoples of our region. So thank you very much.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Sawadee Ka. On behalf of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society of Thailand, it is my great pleasure to welcome distinguished delegates to the Asia Pacific Regional Community Network Summit. And I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to UNESCAP and the Internet Society, or ISOC, for inviting me to attend this meaningful event. Today's summit timely touched on the important issue that government around the globe and all other stakeholders have been working extensively to expand the affordable internet access to their citizens, noting the potential opportunity that the internet or internet-based technology bring for countries, communities, and individuals economically, socially, and environmentally. After more than 25 years of internet development, however, there still remains a profound connectivity gap in many parts of the world, particularly in developing nations, leaving half of the global population without internet access. According to UNESCAP report, in Asia and the Pacific region, around 55% of the population are unconnected. Broken down by income status, fixed broadband penetration rates in low-income countries and lower middle-income countries in the region are respectively low with 0.5% and 2.5% respectively, compared to the advanced country with around 30%. Although lower income countries have experienced rapid progress of mobile broadband penetration in the past few years, the disparity with high income countries in affordable internet through mobile device remain huge. Traditionally, 4 main types of barriers are reported as responsible for the lack of internet adoption, that are the lack of connectivity, the non-affordability of internet access, digital illiteracy, and finally, the lack of relevance of the service and contents. The consequences of being unconnected are well documented. While it is consensual that internet access enables socio-economic development and transformation, it is also mean that those without access are left behind, facing tremendous competitive and economic disadvantages in terms of access to information and knowledge, productivity growth, income generation, and overall life improvement. This is more prevalent for people in rural and remote areas, where one of the key obstacles is last mile connectivity. The lack of commercial viability as well as huge network rollout costs worry operators who are reluctant to make the necessary investment in rural lands and make the expansion of connectivity network infeasible. As such, the role of policymakers and regulators become even more vital to reach the next 2 billion unconnected through innovative changes that can help close the last mile connectivity gaps and offer affordable access to substantial part of the population. With that, it is necessary to create appropriate frameworks that allow small operators, local entrepreneurs, and communities to solve their own connectivity challenges. Distinguished delegates, the Royal Thai government is fully aware that digital infrastructure is the key mechanism to create more opportunity for future economic and social development. So the government has carried out a number of projects to enable the country to achieve the goals. One of the flagship projects is the village broadband internet, also called Net Pracharat, which is the major driving force behind Thailand 4.0 policy. The purpose of the Net Pracharat is to expand high-speed internet network to cover all villages throughout Thailand, so that local people who live in remote areas will be able to access broadband internet as those who live in cities. Under the project, fiber optic networks are deployed to target village. Each village is provided with a Wi-Fi hotspot free of charge. Up to now, the ministry have already deployed high-speed internet to 24,700 villages. And by the end of this year, Thailand will become a full-fledged broadband nation by providing internet access to 75,000 villages. It provides equitable and affordable access to ICT or digital technology across the country, which is a crucial factor to develop innovation and improve the quality of life of people in the rural areas. As a result, Thai people can easily access to public service and enhance business opportunity, generating income and employment in local communities. In addition, the ministry has also been developing a nationwide digital community center network to support the smart adoption of digital technology and promote digital literacy in all rural areas, offering business and occupational learning, including providing space of community, economic, and social activity. I've learned that yesterday my permanent secretary also shared about the experience of Thailand in this project yesterday already. And ladies and gentlemen, I observed that we have very promising mix of policy makers, practitioners, academic, and civil society representatives from all parts of the region that have come together to discuss and share our experience. Also, we have a topical and exciting theme on the agenda that specifically will deliberate on the last mile connectivity issues, as well as complementary and sustainable bottom-up solution to address the exciting connectivity gaps. It is such an appreciation that UNESCAP and the ISOC have brought up this important discussion under APIS initiative and build up momentum among countries to promote access, affordability, and resilience of internet broadband in the region. I'm confident that by working closely together, our Asia-Pacific region will continue to excel in promoting ICT connectivity as an enabling tool for sustainable development. With that, I wish you a successful meeting and productive results. Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ